Hello and welcome to White Horse Music TV. My name is Richard Bodina and I'm co-owner of this wonderful shop with my lovely wife who's behind the camera. Today I will be showing you two cellos and comparing them and giving you an idea maybe of what you might expect to find in a cello which is around the $2,000 price range and one which is about $500 more. So that'll be an interesting thing. So the ones that I will be interviewing today, is the J. Francis cello, this one, which is quite a sort of matte finish looking cello. It's not shiny. I'll turn him around as well so you can have a look. There you go. He's moderately figured on the back there, a little bit stripy. And they are consistently deep sounding cello. So we like the sound of those ones, and it's in and around the $2,000 sort of price range. And then we have the Righetti RC4 cello, which is I would say it looks a little bit shiny. It's a bit shinier in the camera there because it's a bit glary, the camera, but in real life it's a little bit shiny and it's very finely varnished and very thin layers, so you can still feel the wood as you run your fingers along the wood there. And it's also an antiqued cello. There's been a huge amount of work put into this, and this is maybe what you're paying for. And the back is quite a bit more figured as well. Not that that's a big deal. Like if you have a wonderful cello and it doesn't have a stripy back and it sounds awesome, then who cares if it's got stripes or not? But they're two quite different looking cellos and quite different in the way they sound as well. So maybe I'll give them a bit of a play. So there's someone called Simon. And you probably already knew that there was someone called Simon, but there's someone called Simon who is interested in cellos in around this sort of price range and, maybe wondering what they can get for this sort of price range versus that sort of price range. So let's have a bit of a play and we'll find out. There you go. And there's that depth I was talking about. So it's got lots of depth and grunt, and you can feel the cello vibrating against your body. Now with all of these cellos, we make all of our parts for them. And I should mention it, I mention it every once in a while because it's quite important, because this cello originally came with a very low quality bridge, which was very tall, and the bridge was quite flat. I mean, it was curved a little bit, but it was a lot flatter than standard. And if the bridge is really flat, you could imagine trying to play the individual strings that are on that flat bridge. It's almost impossible. And so Graham, who set up this particular cello, I set up about half of them and Graham sets up about half. He made a bridge with the correct curvature. So he got rid of the original bridge, made this bridge out of much higher quality wood from a company in France that supply these bridge blanks. And so it gives it the correct curvature, but also because it's better quality wood, the vibrations are transferred better from the strings to the body of the instrument. Makes a huge difference to the sound and the playability. And then he made a new sound post inside. We're obsessive about all of them, all of the cellos. So he made a sound post inside, and depending on how well that's fitted to the inside, to the front and the back of the cello inside, it transfers the vibrations better or worse from the front to the back. And so Graham fitted the sound post well, and depending on where you position the sound post inside also, it makes a difference to whether the bottom strings are highlighted or the top strings, and you can make a difference to how even the cello sounds. So he's made the new bridge, made the new sound post, thrown out the original strings that make it sound like a dying cat. You don't want a dying cat inside your cello, it doesn't sound good. And put on these really good strings called Larsen strings, which suited this particular cello. And with all of these cellos which I demonstrate, they'll all have different strings, but they're the strings that I've chosen for that particular cello. Then we plane the fingerboard to make sure the playing is smooth throughout. It makes a big difference to the sound. If it's a quite a wavy sort of a fingerboard, then you get notes that are not so good and buzz a little bit and that sort of thing. Lowered the nut so that it's easier to press down the strings, and refitted the pegs. And in this time of COVID, when a lot of people can't get to their teachers, my gosh, if you have a cello that's constantly slipping out of tune, it's not a good thing. So all of those things have been done to this cello and the other cello, and I should move on. I'll give this another little bit of a play, and then I'll play the Righetti RC4 straight after, so you get a really good idea of the difference in sound. Okay, really nice depth for a cello in that price range. There you go. So I can instantly hear even more depth on the bottom, which is sort of like a non-negotiable thing with cellos. People like different sounds, like they have a personal preference for certain sounds with cellos. One cello might suit someone, but it might not suit someone else. This cello, with that sort of depth, the depth is really, really important, and everyone likes depths in cellos. It has extra depth, but it also has a little bit more ring to the sound as well, I would say. So when you play a note like that, you can hear it ringing like a doorbell sort of thing, which is super nice when you're playing things like the Bach. You're playing these notes and all the others are ringing, and it creates a sort of like halo of ringing music around you, and it's beautiful. It has a little bit more of that ring than the J. Francis. So maybe for that difference in price, you're paying for a little bit more depth and a little bit more ring to the sound. But the actual thing that you're paying for is not the sound. Because if I set up 5 of these, each one's going to sound a little bit different. What you're paying for is the fact that they've put a lot more hand work into this cello and better making technique. In the end, that usually results in better sound. But you're paying generally for the fact that they're using better quality wood, better workmanship, better varnishing technique, and all of those sorts of things. I'll give them one last play, one after the other, because I've been talking too much, and it's better just to let the cellos do the talking. Okay, J. Francis. Did you hear a difference? As usual, I'd say, it's probably better to buy both of them. Thanks for watching.